Welcome to Max's Minute. I'm your host, Max Vanderglass, and today we will be talking about the Southwest Classic game that is held every year in AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, when the Arkansas Razorbacks play the Texas A&M Aggies. Here to discuss it with me is Laura Workman and Katie Beth Hyatt. Laura, let's start with you. What is your opinion on this neutral site game?
Right, so as you said, this game is played every year in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Obviously, that's a lot closer to A&M because A&M is in College Station, Texas, whereas Arkansas is obviously in the state of Arkansas, so it's a little bit more of a drive for those fans. Last year in 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this game was played at Kyle Field, and a lot of Arkansas fans were upset that they didn't get a home game in the following year because this year it was played at AT&T Stadium. That didn't cause any disadvantage for the Razorbacks. They still won the game. But I think it's interesting to bring up with these neutral site games. The main beneficiary of the neutral site games is the person hosting the neutral site game. In that case, this is Jerry Jones, who's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, who is also a former Razorback. And I think that is a big reason why the Razorbacks still continue to play this game there.
I feel like playing it at AT&T Stadium doesn't have a huge effect. I mean, obviously it helps when you have a home game because it makes the stadium a little bit more hype. But looking at an example of the Ohio State-Michigan rival, Ohio State has beat them since 2012 each year, and that's been going from their home stadium to Michigan's home stadium. So I feel like it kind of just depends on the strength of the team at the time.
I agree with that, and I also agree with the fact that Arkansas should have had a home game this year, considering last year. But I think when you look at Arkansas' schedule, they have two technically neutral site games a year, with always a game in Little Rock and always a game in Dallas. So that's two home games, technically away. So I think it's kind of a disadvantage for Razorback fans to have to travel so much to see their team in a game where they are home.
I think the one point to make is there are a lot of Central Arkansas fans that get to go to that the Little Rock game and that's played at War Memorial. I think that's a little bit more home than the Southwest Classic one, but I do understand your point of that. And the other thing I think it's good for is recruits. You know, Texas recruits get to see them play in Texas, and I think that's the main benefit as well for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. One more question. Do you think majority of fans will be happy or mad if the game is switched to a home-and-home series?
I think most fans would be pretty happy.
I agree, but some students that go to Arkansas or A&M that are from Dallas might miss that home chance, like to be home and be in the AT&T Stadium, because that is really cool to be in Jerry's world. I
do agree with that as a student from Texas. But that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much to Katie Beth and Laura Workman for joining me. I'm your host, Max Vanderglass. This has been Max Minute, and I'll see y'all next time.